There we go. All right.
Hey y'all, this is your commissioner coming at y'all with Derek and Devon. Oh, thank you. I'm honored. And for our second podcast for the league, we're going to try and keep this one a little bit under 2 hours. But yeah, just to start us off real quick, we're playing real hard in the sound effects. How have y'all been this past month?
Doing good. Feel like dog shit right now, but my kids are all out of school, so we're in the knee deep in summer madness of I still have to work. Kids want to go do stuff. Who's gonna win this battle? It's
Now,
not me
for
for
reference,
some reason.
Derek works from home. And I feel like it's
That's
an
right.
important thing to note.
Oh.
It's minor detail. They think that I'm sitting here so that I can run them all over town, take them to the pool on a Tuesday afternoon. So, yeah. Other than that, doing pretty good. Watching soccer,
Are you?
football. I am actually almost every World Cup game because it's better than watching cat's eye dance videos.
You pulling for the Three
normal.
Lions for your mom?
I listen. Maybe we'll see. We'll see. It might line up that the U.S. plays England on July 4th. Oh, if that happens,
God, Americans will be insufferable.
Will be?
100%.
Yes, Americans will be insufferable because Americans are the ones with the small dick complex of, oh, Daddy England, we broke away and we hate you so much, and the Brits are like, they don't see this like
You're
rivalry.
just another colony that
Right,
we have
and
set freed.
The Americans just whatever.
The England's like, we're far more upset about India.
Hong Kong, India.
Yeah,
those are
yeah.
bigger problems than the U.S. Like
America looks at it as like,
we didn't
Americans look
want
at
you
it.
guys.
I remember 4 things from history class, and at least 2 of them involve England. So that's
Right, exactly.
yeah.
What about you, Devon?
We didn't want you guys, so you're the Protestants that we kicked the fuck out of our country. Oh man. But yeah, that'll be a good game if it comes to pass. And I don't know how much. Obviously, right? My mom's British, so soccer's always it's what I played in school and what is always the thing my mom likes to watch. So I've watched U.S. soccer like since forever. It's probably the best the men's team has looked.
You are a Jets fan. This kind of tracks.
Yeah, I love watching shitty sports by the teams that I support. But this is the best the U.S. team has looked in a long time. Does it also coincide with letting some of the old bad players that couldn't make it in international leagues go? I mean, there's a little correlation there. Maybe not causation, but you have a tough time convincing me.
What you, Devon? What you been up to?
Yeah, I think when we streamed the last one, my brother was coming to visit the next weekend after, and then friends from Langley actually came and visited as well. Tony and Luana.
Oh shit! Okay.
Yeah, so we've been busy that way. I think I'm just free myself. Whatever. I'll figure that out. But yeah, so just got through all that. Everyone's kind of back to their own places, and we're figuring out.
Were they coming to see you?
House back out.
Or were they coming?
Yeah. He came to visit my wife and I, and stay here for a little while. We try to convince them to move to Denver. We try to convince everyone that comes here to move to Denver. But them especially. But yeah, good. Garden's going technically. I picked my first pepper from my garden. Ate some lettuce. Yeah, I'm progressing here. But
Was the lettuce good? Because I've grown lettuce one time, and the lettuce I grew was so fucking bitter that I could not eat any more of it, and I gave up on it immediately after that.
I have not had a bitter problem, but I was what did my wife call it? She said it was earthier than she expected. Was the phrase I think. So I don't know what that means necessarily.
I think we all know what that means.
Yeah.
Earthy's fine, I think. Yeah, I mean it came from it, so yeah, to each their own, I suppose. But yeah, that's about it, man. I could get into the weeds of a swamp cooler if someone else is dealing with a dry environment, but I don't know if that's exactly going to be our podcast clientele.
Tony actually used to be in the league for a year.
Yeah, he was technically an OG league member.
Yeah.
Or not first year, but
I mean, somewhere around there, yeah. Second or third, something like that.
yeah. We're just cycling in Panthers slash commie fans, I guess.
Is he
He's a yeah, he goes either way.
alright.
Whichever one's playing will, I think, is the idea there.
Gotcha.
Yeah, nothing else. I try to keep up with football to some extent. Obviously, the finals. I watch the finals. I try to kind of tune in to the NBA towards the end. I essentially do the Kawhi Leonard approach, but to watching basketball. So same stuff.
Hey, that's the best way to engage with the NBA nowadays. So
yeah, they told me they didn't matter, and I listened. That's on me. That's messed up.
Yeah, it's kind of true.
I'm trying to watch soccer or football, I suppose, but I don't know, man. Every time I hear offsides, I cry a little bit. Start to think that we're back, and it doesn't happen. So that's about it, man. Take a vacation.
Were you with nearby or within the nearby area?
Oh yeah, we went up to the Rockies, to the Rocky Mountains. Always nice to test how well you can breathe. So,
get that high altitude training in there.
Yeah, you're probably a decent elevation in Kentucky there, right? Or not really?
No, not where I'm at. I'm in the flat part.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The mountains are nearby. It's about an hour drive, and then you get up there a little bit, but no, I'm not there.
Yeah. No, yeah.
Deal. All right. Let's
Whoa, Dustin, you didn't tell us what you've been doing.
Okay, that's true, I guess. Lord, last month, so my parents were here. We I think for the first time.
Oh, look at Dustin had the most exciting time having the parents come visit, and just I forgot.
Hear me out though, because that means my wife and I get to be like adults without children for a couple days. So yeah, we like went out and did shit. Of course, the day we went out and did shit was like the hottest day in England, and literally the trains were shut down, the metro was shut down because shit was too fucking hot here, and the Brits can't do heat. Like anything involved air conditioning in Atlanta, 2000. We lost Devon.
No, you're good. I'm just trying to figure out when.
Was it 11, 10? There was a snowstorm, like 6 inches there, and the whole fucking state just went to shit. People just literally left their cars in the freeway and walked their ass home because they didn't know how to handle any kind of cold. England's like that with air conditioning. Like when it comes to any kind of heat, they just can't. The roads start fucking melting because they're not built properly. People start. The trains failed, the metros failed, building whole businesses stay shut down. So that was one of our days. It was fine. It was hot, but the other day we went and saw some theaters thing, and we traveled around some of the England nearby. So it was nice to have them here. If only just to. My pitch to my mom was, "Hey, fly out. I'll pay for your ticket and just babysit my kids for like 2-3 weeks." I got 5 days.
You said spend time with your grandkids, right?
I got 5 days, and that's it. I'll let them pay the ticket, but still.
Nice.
But yeah, there's that. I don't know. We got some other shit we're planning. We try and travel as much as we can over here. It's looking like we're probably going back to the States end of the year. Don't wish we were trying to stay in Europe, but I don't think that's going to happen. So we're probably going back to the States. Might be in Colorado Springs. Who knows? We'll see how that plays out. There's not shit in Denver. I would prefer Denver over Colorado Springs, but I got to go where the jobs are. So
That's
Just
close
quit.
enough, isn't it? Just quit.
I got 4 more years I can retire, man. Like, I'm just...
Quit.
I appreciate the thought process.
Break a leg.
Break a leg, smuggle some
Injure
cocaine,
yourself.
whatever.
Maybe.
I mean...
You say smoke some cocaine?
I said smuggle some cocaine.
Oh, okay. Smuggling is great. That's insane. We have plenty here. You don't need to smuggle. Both countries, in fact. Not from experience. Too much, as some would say they have.
Oh man.
So, anyways, yeah.
Drug mention.
It's I'm not really a big Knicks fan because shapes football. Like, it's too fucking late to watch anything here, honestly. So like, it's like football here in general. It's really hard to catch anything in America. I gotta stay up till like 1, 2 o'clock.
That's what my
in the morning
sister
to
was
watch
telling
stuff.
me. I didn't think about it, but the time difference really screws over like Europe, especially
Sunday night games, anything like that. Yeah, Sunday night games, Monday night games. And now they're every damn day of the week, it feels like. I wonder how that'll get too. Because when I was in the military in England, I just, Sunday was bad. Mondays were rough. But it was one day. And then maybe you screwed over your Tuesday morning as well by staying up and watching the games. But for the most part, you kind of just burnt out. Monday was going to be a drag in the morning throughout the football season. But now that they're like, we're going to play on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we're going to try and fit these in at every time.
Yeah, I mean, there's been multiple
People are
times
not
I've got
gonna get
people
shit
that
done.
just, we had a guy miss work and show up like 10 o'clock in the morning because a Knicks fan who said he just missed his alarm. Bullshit.
Yeah, that sounds good.
We all know why and whatever.
90% of the people that are in the military aren't doing anything. It's not, who cares if he's late? It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Like, very rarely are any of the people there important. I was there.
I was there. I know.
We had like 8 people in a shop, and if 9 of them died, no one cared.
Crowden has
Don't do the
gotten
math.
pilots started coming in commanding here, and with Operation Epic Fury, it's just a lot of work for no real reason.
Staff, to drag some pilots in.
Anyways, that's a topic for another time with people that actually give a shit about this. Let's let's segue into things y'all do care about. So we had some recent changes to the league that we're gonna briefly touch on. One of them, the first one that we talked about, or we'll talk about, is the concept of trading for future picks and ensuring. What did we end up calling it? Forgive me.
Conditional
trades. That's right. There we go. Thank you all.
Very NBA approach to trade.
Yeah, I don't think it really needs to be touched on it. I mean, I'm not going to say it happened strictly because 2 people try to trade, because I've been in that spot where I was looking at, I think, a couple people, and I'm like, man, if I could pick the trade I want, like, conditionally, that'd be great. I would prefer it, because going into it, like, hey, if I get the higher of these 2 picks, I would be way more comfortable doing this trade.
Yeah.
My argument would be there's a certain level of skill and able to figure out which one's going to be the shittier pick. But I mean, in all fairness, I remember when I was doing a trade like that before, and I thought for sure, I think it was Kenter. Yeah, I was like, Kenter's pick is gonna be terrible. Let me grab his pick, and then turns out I was right. But
let me pat myself on the back.
Yeah, that's a pretty easy bet.
But at the time, he spun up. He started getting a bunch of wide receivers, and he's like, "I'm gonna compete this year." And I was like, "Ah, shit! This is not according to plan. He was supposed to suck this year." Turns out he still sucked. But
sucked.
But it made a concern, right? And then this kind of alleviates that concern and takes some of, I'd argue, the skill out of figuring out which player or which team is going to be worse. But whatever. It's y'all's picks. Decide what you want to. At the end of the day, and the league was fine with it. So whatever. I don't got much to say on it. By all means, y'all.
I'm
did try.
upset that the spirit of gambling dies in this. No more having to roll the dice on picking which pick is going to be worse, because you can plan for it, which makes logical sense. But where's the fun? Where's the fun? Why is the commissioner allowing us to remove the fun and make logical trades? Come on, Corrupt Commish. Gotta do better.
Well, I am inclined to agree to anything that disparages our commissioner. I don't know if it really does anything in this benefit against it all. I was trying to petition to make it more ridiculous, because that's normally I'm either completely against something or want it to be far worse than it optionally is. But we specifically said my idea was bad, so whatever. You know, I wanted. Yeah, go ahead.
Which is why he wants to implement these defense changes.
No, it's in a similar vein. But hey, I have listen.
We'll get to that later. That we can beat that horse another time.
It's still not dead. It's still alive.
The NFL has it. They have conditional success, like conditional trades, right? Where if someone performs,
the Jets made a bunch of them.
Make a playoff. Yeah, they actually did. Yeah. If they make the playoffs or whatever it is, if the wide receiver has 1,000 yards and that pick becomes a second instead of a third, and you could say that takes away the gambling, but I think it adds more to it. Now you're putting in more stakes. I think the worst part about it is tracking it and sleeper.
Yeah, and the corrupt jackass that you all hate is the one that has to deal with that. So
that's right.
Yeah. It's part of his continued punishment.
Reverse slave labor, okay? We're turning the tables.
I'm leaving that alone. But the proletariat is rising up.
I've been given a pass, I'll have you know.
Oh, really? Who handed out this pass?
We are losing advertisers before we found it. This is going to be difficult.
It's all right. Like you said, we can always count on Raid Shadow Legends. It'll always be there.
We haven't gotten the ad bit yet. This is before the podcast, and Derek's bringing up some shit. And then the other change that happened, which was going to happen regardless, it was predetermined. Thank you, your benevolent dictator. It was a matter of Zach and Devon here actually figuring out how it was going to work, and I think they came up with a really clever solution. I'm pretty happy with it. But going off of what happened last year, we had a lot of kind of pointless games. And while I understand a lot of teams want to tank, I think there's an important part of this game that's keeping things competitive. Shit's just kind of boring when it's Dustin beating the shit out of... I'm just going to pick on Frank.
Let's be real, Dustin. You didn't beat anybody in the playoffs at all for the past couple years.
I wasn't talking about the playoffs. Thanks. I don't know why that came up. Why did I get that stray? Besides just being me, completely uncalled for.
Oh, my bad.
Pick one of your top teams that beat the shit out of the other ones. They're really unimpressed. So let's try and get some more competitive games. Taking that approach, we kind of looked at, relegation and promotion and how that works in English football and other places in the world, which honestly I'm a big fan of conceptually anyways. And implemented, essentially what that is every team that made the playoffs last year will be in the harder, more difficult division, and the teams that did not make the playoffs will be in the less difficult division. And essentially that encourages, you'll play everyone in your division. I'll let Devon talk about how this all gets broken down, because he is the one that kind of developed this concept.
It makes sense, but I can't explain it, so Devon, let's...
It's not that bad. Literally all we're saying is that we're taking the non-playoff teams, the same concept that we sort of have for the draft, right? So at the end of the regular season, we know the bottom 6 teams' orders. it's the same kind of concept here, except it's going to be split up. So the bottom 6 and top 6 are sorted out at the end of the regular season. I've stared at the schedule stuff long enough to know how it works in Sleeper, but Sleeper kind of randomizes the concept of divisions to some extent and forces teams to play each other twice, somewhat systematically. I don't want to go over too much of it. I have a spreadsheet, as anyone could probably predict. I suppose I could pull up, but historically, those teams are random. So it's just 4 random teams that you get selected into. So now, instead of doing 4, we're running with. Sorry, I'm multitasking horrendously here, but that's the kind of concept. So I'm gonna pull up how our divisions have been set up over the years, just for a quick kind of run through here. This is this portion. I actually have another sheet that'll tell you how they were every year before, but you'll have to bear with me. So yeah, we'll just split that up. 2 teams will not be played by each group, so I won't play 2 members of. I have to pull them up. Sorry, I was not prepared properly.
You won't play
the
2
shirts?
members of the blouses because you remember the shirts. But
Oh,
you'll play
yeah.
all of your
Yeah.
division at least. So everyone will play their own team of their own division at least twice. So
Exactly.
that's going to leave you with 10 games played, and we still have what 5 left, right? 4 or 5
Yeah,
left.
and those
Um,
games are packaged into weeks 1 through 5, and then weeks 10 through 14.
Yeah.
So you'll
And then
keep these along.
the real, and I think anyone could figure that out. Honestly, the clever part I think was that you guys kind of tried to make it so that the more winning teams played, I believe, it was the harder teams and the other division as well. Trying to make it match as closely as we can, essentially like the real NFL does, where it encourages parity. Where if you had a truly successful season, if you're Dave and you won the championship, you're going to play theoretically the hardest.
Tougher schedule.
Yeah, the hardest schedule. Now, obviously, that changes because you've got some
So
teams that were at the bottom that all of a sudden made some plays and now they're way more competitive, and vice versa. Like Dave, for instance, right? Theoretically, he would have a very difficult schedule, but by
He's tanking now.
tanking half-heartedly, and we'll get into that in a second. He's now. I mean, Dave's at the point now where whoever plays him is going to have an easier schedule now, but we can't really base that off of pull up current rosters instead of a team league. Like, this is not going to happen.
I would say that a way to look at it is how strength of schedule is measured at the end of an
Absolutely.
NFL season. It's obviously once you get into an NFL season, the teams have changed dramatically over an off season, one way or another. Players, quarterbacks, these things happen. The division gets tougher. A million things happen, but all the strength of schedule normally takes into factor is where you were last year. Adds all those numbers up and throws out, you're the 32nd best schedule or something like that. So we have the same concept. The 12th seed will have the strength of schedule that is the easiest schedule. If that makes any sense. And moving up from there. So the number 1 team will have the hardest schedule. They'll play, obviously, their entire division twice. So they're playing the best 6 teams in the league twice, and then you're playing 7, 8, 9, 10 as well. So they don't end up having to play or being able to play the worst teams. It's not the concept. It's going to force some things to shift in terms of how a season ends for win-loss, for sure. I mean, these terrible teams are going to end up winning games. That's kind of what's going to happen.
Their best efforts.
Exactly. Yeah. Despite their effort to lose, I suppose I could show you some of these things. We made a ton of spreadsheets for this. I don't want to bore anyone too much.
I mean, it's in the Discord. If anyone's truly interested in the data, it's there. But I think what people really care about is not so much the data, but what's the actual effect to them and their teams. And I think what's going to happen is you're gonna have teams that are closer to 500 in general, and you're gonna find teams that are in the relegation league, labeled the shirts, that decide to rebuild all of a sudden, and they're gonna have an easier time winning and getting to the playoffs, and you're going to have teams that just have some injuries or decide to tank a little bit in the Superior League, and then they're going to get bumped down. And I think that's healthy long term, because that also encourages that, like, you did good last year, now you're playing with the big boys, and maybe you'll struggle more and you'll come back down. Or you've got teams that are truly, when they decide to come online, and let's say Frank advertised it by running backs, right? His team all of a sudden becomes competitive, and now he's got a good path to the playoffs for 1 year. But then after that, he's back with the big boys. So I think it's a good, healthy addition.
Here's a bit of an example. So I take last year's results, compare them to how this would have gone had we taken our current schedule and used it last year, if that makes any sense. That's the idea. So a team like Kenter's team, who won 3 games, Frank won 3 games, Chris won 1 game, for instance, the bottom half of this. Kenter actually ends up winning 7 games in one of these random schedules. There's a million different iterations, so it's not terribly informative. But you see that the luck of these bottom 6 teams flips up in some ways. At the end of the day, we still use 0.4 to decide
draft position.
Exactly. So you can't tank your way out of some of this anyhow. But I'm not going to get into
and the tiebreaker is 0.4 as well. So if you have a team that just, like Kenter's, who gets 7 wins, or close to a little bit more, and is now at the same tie as the team in the more harder division, as long as you're scoring more points for is still the tiebreaker.
Yeah. And it will create situations where the top teams need to win games to keep shirt teams from making it in on the easier schedules. I think it should be an interesting year for sure, and it's going to distribute wins in a more interesting way. Because as a joke I made earlier about the playoffs with the NBA being kind of the only thing that matters, sort of the thing that happens with fantasy, especially in these dynasty leagues.
Last year was very much like that. It felt like, I talked to Justin about this a good bit, was that, and that was his thought process going into it, is he didn't really care about the regular season. All he cared about was, are you healthy and you competitive in the playoffs? And are you not playing Dave?
That sucks. Because you don't want to be, there's a practice to it, like there's a strategy for trading and getting players that are going to win you games in the playoffs. That's 100% a strategy. I don't think that should be a strategy for you in week 1 or 2. And that's something you can have happen in these leagues. And you do need to win games. Like, you actually genuinely need to win games and be dealing with quality opponents in order to keep them from winning games as well. And this forces that to happen on both ends.
Yeah. So I think we're looking at a positive change overall, but we'll kind of see how it all plays out at the end. For those of you that are familiar, our age group, majority of people in this group grew up with Dave Chappelle. If you need to get a reference for the names, you can figure it out by watching some Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, we did have to explain, send the clip of this to Frank, because
he grew up Asian.
Was sheltered from. He grew up Asian. Yeah, that's the best way to put it. Oh gosh. Shirts and blouses.
Let's look at those shirts and blouses, though, and let's start off with the bottom of the shirts, whom I currently have as Derek has mommy cannons. Chris.
Oh god.
So we're gonna take a dive into this bit, these first 6 teams in this league, and kind of see how we think they're doing. What the approach is for this build team, how many picks they have, what are they trying to accomplish, and where do they end up? I feel like KTC is probably the best place to pull this up, and I'm probably gonna do that right now, actually. But looking at Chris's setup, we know he's trying to rebuild, right? That has been pretty confident. He's gotten tons of picks. He's
4 27 firsts, and he had none at the start of last season. or maybe one, right? He had mine, I think it was.
Yeah,
was
let's
the
see.
only
I
one he
mean,
had.
going on full team end picks, we've got, according to KTC, right? Derek has Mommy Cannons. Where did this even come from? I don't know. Is it literally the second most?
He traded for Justin Herbert.
That's right.
That's
right.
Yeah,
Of course.
that's where it came from.
But KTC's got him as the team with the second best pick selection of the league, and I'm gonna see if that's. It's not even that close. It's literally. What is locked and loaded?
It's
Is that?
probably
Yeah,
Frank,
of course. It's
then
Frank
Chris,
Tran.
and then a gap.
Frank, Chris, and then a massive gap. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you do have to remember that he doesn't have picks. That one of these is conditionally not his.
One of them is conditionally
Right.
not his. That's
The
correct.
best
And that,
one, in fact.
well,
His best pick
you're
is
not
not
wrong.
his pick. So I
Yeah.
mean,
That's true, and that's something that will
whatever.
never be reflected on these things until we just can't account for that, unfortunately. But I mean, he's got no running backs. He's got no quarterbacks, really. He's got okay wide receivers
He
with
has
the
Bill.
draft.
He's got Jordan Love.
He's got.
He has Bill.
Comparative to the
Jalen
rest.
Bill.
Comparative to the rest of the league, he's 11th in quarterback rating. Going off this, he has Jordan Love. That's true, and that is where it ends. Am I wrong? I could be wrong here. I think that is where it ends.
Malik is amazing.
He is
He's
a
the number
Malik
one
believer.
going into the season.
How could I
new
ever doubt?
team, new coaching staff. Sure, they traded away his best receiver and every other skill guy on the team, but Malik Willis could do something. Oh,
It's not. I mean, I think it's a fine rebuild strategy. Clearly, he's rebuilding. He's got tons of picks. Even when he gives up one in 2027, he still has 3 more. We talked about it last episode where he just took tons of fucking shots at wide receivers.
yeah. I like his wide receivers.
Like getting is flying.
Yeah, like getting Tate, Tyson, and Lemon. That's not a bad way to start a rebuild, all in the same year in the same draft class. So.
I just worry about the quarterback situation, right? Like we're in Superflex now. I think obviously he's taking a quarterback in 2027, at least one. I would encourage you to take 2. But that leaves you still with only one starting running back. If you can draft a good running back, you're still looking at probably at least another year, maybe, unless you
probably
can
2
flip some value. Yeah. So
and and I think Dustin knows how I feel about running backs, but like there's not going to be any good running backs like anytime soon. So like this is the same issue I say to Frank all the time, but if you're counting on drafting a good running back to be competitive, like you're shit out of luck for the next 2 years. It's going to be slim pickings. Personal opinion, right? I'm not from the future or anything, but
yeah, I mean, if he gets quarterbacks and wide receivers and he can scrounge up some running backs, I think he could compete. 27, likely 28, maybe 29 is what we're looking at. Chris actually turning it on and actually trying to get out of that league. Until then, he's probably a bottom feeder in the shorts division.
Yeah.
But is he the bottomest? The bottomest one, though. That's the question. And we'll get to that, I guess.
Yeah.
Get me close.
Next up, we have
those
Devon.
wide receivers. It depends how good they are.
That is true, but I'm not expecting a lot, especially with Lemon the year 1. So, and he doesn't have his own pick next year, right? Because he sold that.
Not his own first.
No, Frank has it.
He has his own second now, actually, thanks to a Justin Herbert BTJ trade.
That's right. That's right.
But I think we know that one coming up. So let's look at number 5. This one sounds stupid. To be fair, we were looking at Devon going into this year, thinking, he's going to rebuild. Clearly took advantage of this new division concept, and I believe is the clear favorite to win this division now, and it's not even close. If I had to guess,
Zach's not trying. David's David is trying.
What were
I
your
think.
trade acquisitions? I mean, you know them, so I'll let you take it over.
Do what? Sorry, I missed that.
What? Talk about your moves to go from rebuild to fuck them picks.
Oh, I started watching the players in the 2026 draft, and that'll make anyone say fuck them picks. So that's all it really took, to be honest. Frank told me I should have been scouting. I started, and I was like, "Oh, that's terrible. I don't want to do this anymore." So now I don't have any of them. Really, my only move was to get James Cook. I think is the only. I mean, that technically I traded for Kittle. I felt like my tight end room could use someone who plays 50% of the year to match up with the 50% that Mark Andrews plays. So we should together have a full season.
Have one tight end.
And I do have Lamar and Jalen Hurts, and at the beginning of a Superflex league, so I don't think I'm going to be able to tank sufficiently unless I get rid of them.
I mean,
Realistically,
the thought process going into it, I thought would be you sell Taylor, and you probably keep Lamar, I think. But
yeah, I think this is a conversation I had earlier with Derek, which is that I can get sticky with players. I don't want to give too much of my own strategy away, but I trust that Jonathan Taylor will be a more valuable asset in 4 months than he is to me right now. There were points in the last year. I mean, both of you know this, that I was trying to move Taylor mid-season.
I tried to get him.
You did.
Guilty as charged. I did too.
Straight up was the offer, which I probably should have taken in hindsight.
Wait, what was the offer?
I'm glad you didn't. It was Hampton for Taylor, straight up.
Well, that's right. You told me about that.
Yeah. And I hate the Chargers in a way that can't be described necessarily. Not that Indianapolis is anybody, but and then Dustin essentially did the trade that I was trying to work with Taylor for McBride, right?
Close to it, yeah.
Oh.
For McBride instead. I saw, I was like, this guy. But made sense. He lost, so it all worked out in the end. Not that Taylor would have helped at all. But yeah, so we'll see how it goes. I think the Colts with Daniel Jones back would be a boon to his. So it didn't make sense for me to trade him. I like James Cook's prospects. Dave just clicked accept, so I didn't have a lot to think about in general there. I like a lot of my guys, as you should when you're taking them. High on Burden, Rice whenever he gets out of knee/jail, that'll be good. Alec Pierce is now the wide receiver 1 in an offense that's lost 2 of its top contributors. I don't know. There's a lot of space in here. I am betting a little more.
I think
I just don't like Marks. That's really the only problem when I look at your roster that I see there is
they didn't do anything to change his situation.
Yeah,
right?
I'm fine with it. It's just a tight end.
Non-existent.
Yeah, Stroud is still there.
Yeah, they did buff up their offensive line. I mean, his stocks are obviously down in comparison to where they were at different points, but I think he was a late 4th or something for me last year, so it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah. And the reality is, with Devon making these moves to not sell and just to compete, quite honestly, this division, you're kind of sitting in that spot where all you got to do is just get lucky in the playoffs.
Seat. Yeah,
well, I'll be out of this division. I will be
100%.
getting my shit destroyed next year by teams that are far better. But this year, I get to watch my team win and not have to do a whole lot for it. Obviously, I could go complete shit. I did pick off Deshaun Watson from the streets, so that probably is going to be some mild curse or something like that. But we'll see.
We can only hope so. But yeah, I think Devon with the rice cooker is the clear winner of this division and definitely getting promoted. Our next team is Rock Bob Boobtum, which let's think we can be a little more clever here. But do we think Zach
is Josh Allen fucks everything up on his like?
Hey, King and Sadiq. Obviously going to be the top end tight end this year.
God.
Talent is immense. Inescapable.
He has Josh Allen. That's what makes his entire team the chance to be the best team in the division, because Josh Allen is going to continue to be Josh Allen for like another 5 years, and he won't trade him.
But
I didn't offer
Superflex,
anything good either.
Superflex is going to distribute the value of Josh Allen.
Jadarian Price is running back 16? No fucking way.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm just looking through KTC right now, and I'm like, who's these guys? I'm like, who's this running back that's shot in the value? I'm like, Jadarian Price, really? I mean, I guess he'll have a good start. I mean, that's valid. Drew Aller is his super flex quarterback, so he's not playing quarterback in super flex, and that's gonna be a problem. After Jadarian Price, we don't have much in the. Javonte Williams is fine. And Travis, honestly, he's all right in running back.
Yeah,
not a lot of depth, but some starters.
I am under the impression that Zach is actively, or not, maybe not actively anymore, but I have no reason to believe that he's going to have Devon Williams, Travis Etienne about week 9 of next year.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking too.
If either of them do anything, the price is going to tick up a little bit. Gone.
I don't think Josh Allen.
My only caveat that is, how often does Zach, bless his heart, get trades done?
Occasionally. I'm trying to tug on his heartstrings and give up Bo Nix and maybe something else to grab Josh Allen. So,
I mean, Allen's
tugging
not
on
that
Zach's
old,
heartstrings,
and he is the most valuable player in fantasy football right now, by a consensus, not by individual preferences. Especially in Superflex, that is the most valuable player in all of fantasy football. Yeah. Wide receivers are rough, but obviously he's got lots of picks coming in 2027 to fill up that, and that's a good class to be picking wide receivers from. So obviously he's not competing this year, which makes the have decent running backs, weak wide receivers choice odd, But as long as Jadarian Price, Javonte Williams, Trevor Etienne all stay healthy for a year and come back next year, and they're relatively young, so we could see Zach trying to compete next year, but with rookie wide receivers.
He took a lot of swings at wide receiver too. Like, as I'm looking at it, he took damn near as many as Chris did.
Yeah.
So, Zach took every one of them. I mean,
yeah.
How's that feel, Devon? How's that feel? Does that feel good?
I don't give a fuck about those things. I don't think I like any of these plays. If I had more than like 4 Browns on my team, I'd probably.
But he's got to hit on a quarterback. Once again, we're looking at a team that's rebuilding. That's, I guess they don't have to, but they kind of do, right? Hit on a superflex quarterback.
He'll be A-okay. He's drafting 3 times next year in the first round. He's gonna have one.
Okay, he's going to have one. Is he going to pick a winner, though? I mean, he's still got to take wide receivers, right? So he has, 4 picks, 2027, I want to
say? 3 firsts, 1 second, and then he's got a bunch of thirds and fourths.
Okay, I'm going to throw out the thirds and fourths, because realistically, the chance of this hitting is not very high. Not saying it can't happen, but...
This year. Next year's draft, maybe.
No, okay, sure, you can, but, statistically, I'm applying a broad spectrum on this. It's not likely to hit. Will they? Maybe. Next year, a better chance than none, but... So that's 3 good shots at a player and 1 decent shot. I think he's going to have to take 2 swings, because realistically, half the time the quarterback doesn't hit. So you got to take 2 shots at a quarterback, 1 at a wide receiver, hope 2 of those first hit, and then maybe the second does to stay competitive that year. If not, he's looking at another year of, with running backs that are getting older.
I'm always going to be interested in
how old are they?
As well.
Javonte's probably like 24, 25.
And Javonte's 26.
Okay.
So, yeah, Etienne's 27, Javonte's 26. And then he did pick up Price. So that could be something. But, yeah. Oh, he got Singleton, too.
So,
I'm interested to see how the league shifts after a year of Superflex as well.
I don't think we're saying... I don't think we're seeing Zach move past this division this year. Do we see him moving past it in 2 years?
Unless Josh Allen goes lights out and averages 24 a game, 27 or some shit. He does play
It's
the Jets twice after all.
It's likely that two teams survive out of this. Move up from Shirts to Blast.
I think you're right. The question for me really comes to the second team. I think he could be competitive. These next four, I feel like, are all kind of in the same spot, and I think Franklin Tran's the most likely to, if he just fucking commits to a running back. But who knows?
He had one. He let it go.
We'll get to him. We'll get to him in a second, right? I think I'm going reverse order here. But next, I have Miller with David Miller.
Miller.
Who desperately wants to get out. Like some of these teams don't want to, right? I think this is important to note. Frank doesn't really want to get out of this division. Even Zach and Chris don't really want to get out of this division. Because they're looking to lose this year. They want higher picks next year. Miller, I'm sure he'd love a higher pick, but he wants to win. Like I've talked to him on a every couple days here. He works with me. And this man wants to win. He does not want to be in this division. He wants to win. He's not.
This is not the team that really has
his team building. He moved a lot of pieces to get Cam Ward. I have faith in Cam Ward. Oh, maybe
I do too.
There's a lot of opinions on Cam Ward.
I think Cam Ward's going to be perfectly fine, and I think the switch of their OC and everything is going to go a long way to helping him be better. But I think he's fine for like a long-term pick. Is he going to be like a top 15 quarterback? No, probably not. But like if you're just looking for a starter that you can count on to give you 17 a game, I think that's going to be perfectly fine.
And if Kyler ends up being the quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings, this team is a shot. If he doesn't, I think he's dead in the water.
What about Browns? You think who wins in Cleveland?
I'm not putting my. You think Shadur is going to win in Cleveland, but is Shadur as Superflex startable spot?
I mean,
I can tell you who wins in Cleveland. If I pull up their schedule, every team
not Cleveland.
I believe the Cavaliers occasionally. Yeah. What do you mean? Oh, you mean on the quarterback?
That's the conundrum. They made so many moves at wide receiver. Some of these, the Browns wide receivers, like at least two of them have got to be good. Like good enough to do something, right?
No, no, they don't have to be. They can.
I know. I say that, and then I think about the past 3 years and Zach rostering all the Browns wide receivers, and none of them being like top 50.
It's because you play on a team that technically plays football does not define that someone's going to be good. There are plenty of mediocre defenders. Jerry Judy was not good.
Yeah,
just last year. The running back room is decent. I don't know. I'm mostly memeing. I took Deshaun Watson. Maybe I'm not the one to crack jokes, but
But I mean, like he's got Warren at tight end. He's got Devontae Smith at wide receiver, and then it gets really ugly.
Rodgers is playing football next year.
That's true.
No.
I don't know.
That could be his bridge for the year.
Mike McCarthy has actually genuinely led some of the highest powered offenses in the NFL for years.
But do we think this team is good enough to get him out of this division?
Let's get to who's bad enough in the blouse.
Fair, I guess.
So get a better conversation.
Right?
Yeah.
Dave for sure is one because he's unloaded players. But then the other one, it's like, okay, Casey maybe, but Casey's a crapshoot. If Barkley comes back and CMC does something, Casey could fucking win. Right?
Yeah.
But if CMC dies on the field, like I've been saying for the past 3 years, which hasn't happened yet, I don't know. It's one or two teams in the blouses that are gonna drop. One I would feel confident in saying, but two is like 50-50 crapshoot.
Yeah, there's going to be enough wins and shirts, though. I think that might happen. It might just be a matter of luck.
The schedule changes in the division are going to have some level of an impact. They're going to be kind of random, I think. But you know what? Any of these teams could end up with a bad matchup situation. You just lose and lose and lose and lose. Derek's team is trash, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, if I have 11 touchdowns scored on me in the fucking first round of the playoffs again, that'll fuck me over. That's it's the problem with Casey's team.
Yeah, so it will be luck probably.
I mean, Derek is. There's not a wide receiver on this fucking team, dude.
Hey,
you know, if things go sideways, you gotta start.
You don't need wide receivers.
You end up in some bad matchups.
I'll take her in a bit.
You could start dropping some games. Although I do believe in Gibbs and Devon to do a million things.
I'm gonna ride on my running backs forever. What's the next team we got?
The next one is Kinter.
Kinter.
So
tight end emperor.
Yeah, which
3 starting tight ends.
It's supposed to be on a pun on Warhammer, right? The Emperor, TE Emperor. I'm not sure for those of you that are
no, I didn't know that.
Unaware. It's if you look at his image, it's got a picture of the Warhammer Emperor. He thinks it's clever. We'll get to the point. So yeah, TE Emperor is, I guess he's back to number 1 in tight ends. That's actually he wasn't for a while. But I mean, Stroud and Darnold are fine. They're not mind-blowing, but they'll do the job. With J. McCarthy, the running back situation looks rough with Kyle Mononga as RB1. And even wide receiver, I mean, Marvin Harrison, Olave, Chris Parker Washington. And really, it's Brock Bowers that really sets the team apart from his competitors. Is that enough? Actually, Colston Loveland is probably one of his flex, isn't it? It's Brock Bowers and
Loveland is one of his flexes.
I mean, I guess he likes tight ends.
Starting Gadsden as well. I think there's a decent chance that this man commits to the bit and starts at least 3 tight ends.
He has to. He doesn't have.
He could do 4. He might start 4. If JJ McCarthy, if Sam Darnold or Stroud are he is starting 4 tight ends.
God, that's painful to think of. Which brings me to my point of I don't think he's getting out of this league.
No,
or out of this division.
Chance. He doesn't even have picks. Oh my god!
I think he's doing great.
Keep it up, buddy. What we're all trying to get at is
keep it up, Kinner. On the cheap. Stroud's gonna, he can't be this bad, right? Maybe.
They haven't extended Stroud, have they? So the Texans don't even believe in him right now. After his past 2 seasons,
they want to see if he survives, behind the offensive line this year, and if he doesn't, and play the weird Dak game and then pay him $1 billion anyways. Will be my guess.
So then
got Coker, Pat Bryant.
Never was Frank then.
He's gonna have a great pick in 2029.
He'll trade it, probably to fucking Frank for some.
He'll trade it to Zach for Sadiq, guaranteed.
Don't. Oh. I have nightmares of having to think about how I'm gonna deal with this orphan team one year. Gonna find some poor owner that doesn't want anything to do with this team. I'm like, hey man, you got Brock Bowers on the team. He's gonna be like, oh great, what's the rest of the team look like? I'm like, hold on.
You also got
Brock Bowers though. Think about Brock Bowers and Loveland. Yeah, he's got a great backup.
Hold on, let me let my dog out.
Which
say all you want. Here I believe he's ranked as the number 16 for players only. If you rank just his team and ignore his picks, he is considered the 6th best team.
That would imply that he somehow gets into this.
If you check his starters, he does just start to come down to 7. So,
do you need help, Samantha? My wife needs help. 1 second. Y'all gonna start talking about Frank's stream because I'm sure everyone, yeah.
Oh, Frank's
Technically
team.
does have a team. He is playing this year, and his starters list him as a top 5 team for going into the season based on his
Yep.
starter value. This is still, I believe, Dynasty Outlook. So
The issue, I think Frank should have just kept CMC. He gave up a second for him. I think that if Frank was starting CMC and Love as his starting running backs, he would be a top contender because the rest of his team is pretty good. Drake May and Caleb Williams, that's easily 2 top 10 quarterbacks. Drake London, Tet, 2 wide receiver ones, easily. Rome,
DJ Moore.
Yep. I mean, targets were freed up, right? So Chicago's main targets are going to be Burden, Rome, and Loveland. I think Burden gets the lion's share, right? Like that just makes the most sense. But Rome would be wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3 tier, which is good enough. Pitts, I think, is going to have a great year. Devon, what's up with your team, man? What's with the Chiefs wide receivers room? Who is going to catch the damn ball?
Worthy got big, man. Worthy is working on getting better. Our wide receivers coach is a significant upgrade from last year. All the wide receivers seem to be talking well about him. The only guy in front of Worthy is actively in jail, and on my team. But so who knows? Worthy could be real. I'm high on Worthy this year.
Yeah.
Probably, a bit of a homer take, but we'll see. He was put in terrible positions last year. I watched all the games. I don't want to make this too much of a Chiefs analysis podcast, but
Please don't.
he could do something. Something could happen.
And then Golden. I hate Golden. I don't think he's good.
McMillan is also McMillan's an interesting guy too. A lot of people are high on him statistically.
I like Ted. Oh, Jalen McMillan.
2 McMillans somehow.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, that wide receivers room is crowded though, isn't it?
That's not a bad thing to have, though. I mean, the only real obvious flaw right now to Frank's team is he's missing a second running back.
RB2.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say you won't need one. I think Pitts is good enough at tight end. I think he has good enough wide receivers. I think he has good enough quarterbacks. The only thing he's missing is running backs. The competition isn't that great. There's going to be a team that struggles. I don't know which one it is. I think there's 5 good teams in the top league, but one's going to get unlucky. If push comes to shove, if you're telling me who's going to make this in the league, I think it's Frank and Devon that get out of this league. I think Frank's running back with getting Jeremiah, even though Jeremiah Love, I don't think he's going to get all the carries, and I think he's going to be plagued by RB2s and 3s and the 3-headed monster. I think he gets out of the division.
Yeah, it's possible. It's possible. But is this a crazy take? What if Devin, Zach, and Frank just smash the rest of their division, and the Blouses division has a bunch of cannibalization?
It's very possible.
Dave, right? Like, because Dave is tanking, but
guaranteed,
between me, Casey, and one other person, could we cannibalize each other so much that one of us drops? In addition, right? Like,
I think injuries. It's going to come down to injuries, right? That's one of. Whatever. I'm not going to toot my own horn, whatever. But like, injuries are going to be a problem with this when you're looking at. Before you just pick off easy teams and still get those W's. Now, break season matters more. So if you have a team that doesn't have the depth, you might risk. Which, to be fair, just means that you tank this year. You go back in the next league. Maybe if you have your own pick, honestly, that isn't the end of the world because you get a decent pick in 2027. You get an easy division. You turn around. Your players are healthy. You beat the shit out of your league, and then you get promoted again. Works out fine, I think. Now, if you don't have your own pick, shit kind of fucking sucks because you just take the L and you don't get anything out of it, right? But
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of on you for trading away your pick.
Yeah. And Justin's RB situation could get bad fast. That's
I mean, I think
thing.
most, you could probably make an argument, almost every single team in the blouses will have some struggles. So let's take a break for an ad, and when we come back, we'll take a look at the bosses and figure out how many teams we think are going to actually get past this year with a winning record and get to the playoffs, and how many are going to spend some time as shirts next year. Have you ever found yourselves waking up at 2 a.m. to sign a player off the waiver wire, only for your partner to accuse you of unhealthy obsessive behavior the next morning? Have you ever pulled up your league mate's roster, drunk and alone, and considered what it might be like if they ever made you co-manager? Have you ever found you just need someone to confide in when your team loses a 50-point lead to Josh Allen on a Monday night? Listen, it's a lonely world out there for our fantasy football managers. Probably because you think Bo Nick's Dark Horse memes are the peak of modern comedy. So today's episode is brought to you by Drafter, the only dating app that is designed specifically for fantasy football managers. Drafter is like any other dating app that you're familiar with. You'll list your height, weight, 40-yard dash, vertical jump, 20-yard shuttle, bench press, and complete a test that has absolutely no bearing on your actual value. Now, once that's done, the app's state-of-the-art algorithm, powered by Grok AI, will provide a drafter score to one of 32 women that actually use our app, so they can determine whether you're worth drafting. I mean dating. That's it. Now, if one of our 32 lovely ladies, of which only 20 of them or so are actually worth dating, end up dumping their partner, you'll be notified Wednesday morning if you found a new partner. And that's all there is to it. So stop being a sleeper and start being a starter on Drafter. Download the Drafter app today on the App Store. Use promo code BelovedDictator to boost your Drafter score.
Sounds
Okay.
good.
And we're back because we just spliced that in. We just dropped that in, and we're back. So let's take a look at the blouses then, starting off with. I have myself as the next spot.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll talk my team, I guess. Kind of was built for this year, many years ago. Didn't always thought I'd be able to compete earlier. Mild success there, but was kind of building this moment for Superflex with acquiring Trevor Lawrence. Literally the second we decided to do Superflex and building around Daniels, Mahomes, and Lawrence. I think that's a pretty good core. You've got, according to KDC, quarterbacks 4, 8, and 10. I think Mahomes has a bit of a bounce back regardless. I'm sure people have
Probably
mixed things.
QB1, if I'm being real.
People have mixed feelings on Trevor Lawrence. I have always been a fan of him. I know people don't like him, think he's a hack. Make it what you will.
T-Law.
Yeah, I think, yeah. And I'm a big fan of Jane Daniels as well. So I think from a quarterback run, I'm a fan of it. I've been a huge Jay Ashton. Got on running backs, wide receivers, built this up for a long time ago. I don't know. I think if there's one team in this division, and you call me a homer, whatever you want, I'm trying to speak without bias here. This team was built to endure. It was built to take a licking, to lose a running back, and still be able to compete, because I knew if I'm trading away my picks in the future, then I goddamn better have a team that can fill in for injuries. Because otherwise, if I lose these players, I don't have my own picks, then, I've got a losing team without picks. What's the fuck's the point?
Yeah. Honestly, and this is a team building difference, right? And it's really the only criticism I have. I prefer running back depth because I think running backs are a more valuable fantasy position and will score more points consistently when you compare them, right? Like RB10 to wide receiver 10. Who's going to have more points? I think that's the RB every single time. So,
league.
yeah, and so that's really my only criticism. I don't like how heavy on wide receiver you are, but you've made enough moves picking up extra running backs that I don't think it's as big of a deal. Right? The picking up Henry, keeping Hall, grabbing KW3, like that's I think that'll do you good. I think the Jonathan Brooks. That's probably the biggest crapshoot you have. If Jonathan Brooks comes back and he's something, you're like solid all the way through. Like there is nothing that could happen from like a reasonable deviation from an injury standpoint that could hamper you at all.
Your biggest problem throughout the years has been having your
setting the lineup.
Yeah, well, it's gonna keep being his problem. I mean, you don't have stacks necessarily, which I think I don't want to talk too much about like the weeds of some of this conversation, but like some people talk about stacks being you'll have up and down weeks.
Your higher variance, yeah.
Yeah. So when things go well, they go well, really well. Your team has been like a roller coaster. I mean, you drop like 160 and then 90.
Without the stacks.
Yeah. So you're in one of these spots where you need a lot of things to go well. You need all your players to perform individually well, and then simultaneously you need to have started the players that will play well all at the same time. It's a good problem to have. I think your team would annihilate us in best ball. I don't even think we talk about competition in best ball.
Do you ever think about tearing up?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I feel like I'd be murking my depth to try and move up something. But the only person to move up for in running back situation is he's right there.
It's a matter of there is not. It's the same thing we're running with quarterbacks, is that there's not just running backs to acquire, right? Like everyone that I'm trying to acquire, I'm usually reaching out to my competitors, my peers at that level, and saying, "Hey, listen, I want to make my team better." Derek infamously wants to charge me my team is good tax because he just doesn't want my team to be better, so he wants to just tax me an extra first or something just because of what I've constructed. So I haven't had a lot of luck. I also feel like the league, I'm just going to be honest, the league doesn't reach out to me for trades that much. I don't know if it's because I have a history of fucking people over on trades, and they think that I'm going to get the better of them, or
nobody thinks they have anything to offer you. That's what it is. I know that I do because I have Bijan and Gibbs. But if I'm looking at my entire roster, that's the only thing I have to offer you at all. And it's like,
because I hear you guys talking like, oh, the trades. I'm like, man, nobody fucking talks to me about shit for trades. Like, I got one person talking to me at trades right now, and that's really it. And I'm not like offended, but it's something that like I don't know. I've considered trying to tier up, but then the problem becomes, and I don't think I can for 2027 because I need. My opinion on tiering up is if I'm gonna eliminate my my ability to fill in with backups and have depth, then I need to have my pick because I don't want like Malik Neighbors to go injured and Ashton Genty to get injured, and
valid
next thing you know,
right now too.
Right, and the next thing you know, I don't have the players, and I'm just a middling team. Now, if I have my own pick, that means fine. I lose this year, I get my pick, I pick a top 5 player next year, and then I go right back into it with healthy players. But I don't have my 2027 first. I don't. My 2028 is the first I have. That's mine. So I don't see the point in that cost until 2028, and then maybe I play around with it. You know. Let's see how Superflex goes. If the Jaden Daniels and Pat Mahomes, Trevor Lawrence difference really sets me above, or if it's really not that useful, and all of a sudden now I do have to tier up. I've considered looking into Josh Allen. You know,
Yeah, I would
that
say that.
that kind of player that just truly is. My thought process last year was I pick up Trey McBride, right? Like that's a player that truly sets me above and beyond.
That was a great trade.
And as much as I like Jonathan Taylor, like I'm looking at like how can I just be better at my competitors at a certain position that they can't reach? And it was literally Bowers and McBride. And obviously, you know, the one time McBride does great, except for the one time I play Dave and he drops a 2-point game, and that's just fantasy football. Like, not that McBride even dropping a 50-point game would have saved me, because every single fucking player on Dave's team hit that week. But that's just the playoffs, and I gotta embrace that. But
I would say that to add to something I was mentioning earlier, where it seems kind of roller coastery. The Superflex is going to set your floor at a different place than so that you're on a roller coaster, but your scores are going to be 20 to 30 points higher on a weekly basis in a way that probably benefits you significantly, would be my guess. So that it's going to be harder to beat you.
That is my hope, and I think.
But
with my depth,
play Frank or Chris, so.
Yeah, and that's part of the problem is I have a team with the depth. Hopefully, I can still stay competitive, but it's in a tough division, and I've got to play next up Derek, who let's talk about his division. Or not his team, but his team.
Oh, dude. Okay, my team construction. All right, one simple thing: running backs are gods. You get the best running backs, you win the most games. My favorite thing about the new division change, Devon, when you had posted what everybody's records would have been, with if we had these divisions last season, is that I would have been the overall number one. That made me very happy, and how you got my support. But my big trade, so I dropped Justin Jefferson and Brian Thomas Jr. this offseason, which was probably one of the most painful things that I have had to done. I was fine with losing Jefferson because I didn't. That was the plan for that was always a 1-year rental. That was a move that I wanted to make to try to win, and then he finished as like a wide receiver 3 or some bullshit, all because of 9. So that was a 1 year. I think I got back pretty fair value for him. But the more painful trade was the dealing away Brian Thomas Jr. That it was a necessary evil, the way that I think about it, because
that's for Herbert, right?
Yeah, my second quarterback situation was fucking dire. Ending last season, I had Nick's quality starter injured, but I imagine he'd be coming back fine. My second quarterback was either Kirk Cousins or Tua Tagovailoa, and this was end of the season. Tua was going to be cut. Cousins was going to be cut. Neither one of them was on a team that they had a shot at starting on, and I was pretty much cooked. So never wanted to deal Brian Thomas Jr., but I was talking to Chris as we're getting trades done and I'm moving Justin Jefferson. And he was like, hey, do you want to trade Brian Thomas Jr.? I'm like, no, not really. He said, what about for Herbert? And I'm like, really? I'm listening now. What do we got to do to make this happen? So the trade package worked. Chris wanted a younger wide receiver. I definitely needed a quarterback. But one of the things I'm trying to go for right now is I'm actually collecting 2028.
Chargers? Oh.
No Chargers. No Chargers. But I want 2028 first. And it's not because I'm doing like fucking any advanced scouting. I think Dustin knows this about me, and kind of some of my strategies is I just randomly pick shit and just commit to it. So before I committed to 2024 first, I think at one point I had 7 of them, and then moved some pieces around to make sure that I could draft Bijan and Gibbs. And 2028 is just the arbitrary year that I picked to get some first round picks in. So Chris was willing to give me one of those in a package to move BTJ for Herbert, and his second round 27 first back, which he wanted because obviously he's tanking and his team's going to be dog shit.
But let's be honest, before Derek tries to play off this kind of like, I'm just some quirky genius play. 2020 is a dog shit year, and 2027 picks are expensive. So like 2020 is the only one that makes any sense.
Yes, also true. Also true. And there are some players that I've seen that were true freshmen that looked really fucking good. That if I have a shot at getting them with Chris's pick, I'm on board for that. Malachi Tony is just sitting there waiting for.
Now you can also leverage trading people for their 2029 picks, and then they also have to send you $100. It's perfect.
That's right.
I thought 2028 was the year that we paid the money, right? It's 28.
Yeah,
not 29.
I'm saying if they trade a 2029 pick,
yeah. They got to commit too.
Yeah, right after the trade goes through, you hit the also.
By the way, send me $100. So
obviously, the concern is at wide receiver. Any injury to DJ Moore or like Dubs, and I mean, for reference, for those that aren't aware, according to Keep Cut, which obviously not the Bible, but Derek's best wide receiver is the wide receiver 36 overall.
And his second best is the 53rd wide receiver.
Yes, so he's gonna need Moore and Dubs and Sutton to put in work, or Branch to become a thing with to be fair, passing to him. But
KTC values my wide receivers pretty low, but Sutton is finished as like a fringe wide receiver one. Moore, we'll see.
And again, KTC factors age into everything, and not just this year. It's not a perfect thing. It's just to get an image on what the flaw here is, and any injury to this few starting wide receivers you have puts you in a huge disadvantage. Obviously, if they play and they perform well enough to keep you above the water in that level, then great. You can feast on your running back situation, but any loss to that is a huge loss, I think. I guess they're easily replaced, though, pretty cheap. That's the process there, I think, is that you can just throw a late second in and get some guy that can produce similar to Dubs and Moore. Not a concern.
Yep. But no, I am living and dying by my running backs giving me 20-plus points a game.
And one quarterback, this is going to be a situation, we saw it play out in a redraft where I lost one of my quarterbacks, but I had a second good running quarterback to fill in, so you're not hurting. If Herbert goes or Nix gets injured, you're playing Ty Simpson. It's a risk you got to play. Unfortunately, there are not 36 starting quarterbacks, and there's definitely not 36 good ones. So you've got to figure out, are you okay with having that quarterback sitting on the bench, not giving you points, but as a safety net? It's a risk that I didn't like. It's a risk that Derek's taking, and you don't know how it pays out until.
The Jet starter, trust.
I mean, I might. Still not sure it's going to help him a lot, but But I think this is a good team, but lacking in depth, and that's. I think we're going to see it with this division is that it's going to come down to injuries, and if Derek doesn't have any, then he's probably looking really good, and if he does have a couple, just put on your shirt, buddy.
Gonna be grim.
I think the Derek's team is a high risk of falling out the Premier Division. In any injury scenario would be my guess. And I'm not just saying that to try and get someone to trade for Jonathan Taylor. That's all I'm doing. But he is available.
So let's look at our next team then. And you want to bench CMC.
Hold over from that playoff matchup.
I know, right? It threw me off. Like, who the fuck's team is Jacob? Okay, all right, now I got you. Yeah. So, I mean, with Jacob, we have All right, Jackson Dart is a quarterback. And Baker Mayfield, Daniel Jones. He's got the Colts running back situation or quarterback situation, which is it's not bad, right? He's got Jackson Dart, Baker, and then Colts quarterback. Does AR still plays for the Colts, right? He hasn't been traded?
For now, hasn't been traded yet.
He gives his best wishes.
Yeah, running backs, Quinchon, he should be healthy. I think Sampson will continue to eat into his workload, but Quinchon's a good running back. RJ Harvey got competition, not looking great. Charbonnet could be fine when he gets healthy, but we're seeing a trend here of who's his running back too. No one jumps out to me. Obviously
Who's
he's
other running
got
back in New Orleans?
Alvin Kamara.
Kendra Miller and Kamara. Or is Kendra Miller still even alive?
Oh no, Etienne's there.
Etienne, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, Kamara's probably going.
I
mean, would be my expectation. Say if we're doing weird trade predictions.
Yeah.
I mean, Jacob's got to be hoping for that, right? He's got to be praying and hoping that Kamara ends up as like a Seahawk or something.
Yeah, I was going to say that puts him in a weird spot with Charbonnet. The irony is with Kamara, two popular destinations for Kamara in trade talks are Denver, which would fuck him because he has Harvey, and Seahawks, which he's a Charbonnet owner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Which was fine now, but when Charbs comes back, that they eat into each other.
He has other bad players. Kalen Blacksey, maybe CMC will actually not be benched and be hurt. And then suddenly...
I mean, obviously, a wide receiver, he's sitting very pretty with JSN, Jay Jetta, Emeka, Garrett Wilson, Nico Collins.
This is the anti-Derek team.
And I traded him Jefferson, but man, I hate their quarterback situation. I don't like Kyler. I don't like Nine.
This is a man who saw Justin's team the last 2 years and said, I want to do that too.
Yeah, but then you forgot to still get running backs. Justin at least followed up on the running backs.
Yeah, Bucky.
Well, he hit on a fourth rounder with Bucky, which literally saved him these past 2 years.
Justin's been saved by fourth round picks a couple times.
Yeah, like if that doesn't happen, Justin doesn't compete.
Yeah.
So
and maybe that happens for Jacob here, but
well, and he has Egbuka and Nico too. Yeah, I forgot about Egbuka. That's so good.
Someone on the Chargers offense is going to be catching footballs, and a lot of people think that Quentin Johnson could be one of those people. I don't. I hate him. I think he's ugly, and he plays bad football, and he doesn't have hands. And Trey Harris for the rest of the time.
Well, if the Chargers O-line doesn't die, that's when QJ was doing great. Like,
I think Quentin Johnson was doing great because they left him alone. They
didn't
respect him.
Bad at football. Because Ladd McConkey
Lad is
can't
not.
play
Jesus
football.
Christ.
Can't trust a white guy to be your wide receiver one.
Oh,
there it is, man.
Sorry.
Derek representing Lad.
Dude, I'm over here. What does Frank say? I don't like white running backs, which is fair. Devon's over here, like, no, white wide receivers can't do anything.
Okay.
Oh man,
this is another team.
Says in his blouses, I don't think he's gonna fall out.
No, I don't.
Personally, I think a wide receiver, they're gonna produce a floor that is gonna.
Okay, but
keep in that division.
Samson Easton to Quinchon Judkins, he has no RB2. He drops the first 3 or 4 games and gets himself into a hole. I think that's a very realistic scenario. Yeah, I think Jacob could dig himself into an early hole unless he gets a running back going into the season where he digs into the hole against tougher competition. Maybe he comes back later on and gets help the team, but he's already too deep in the hole and he's into the next.
I'll also throw out that Jacob is a wheeler and dealer. He is always moving throughout the year. Yeah. This is not going to be the team he has.
That's very true. That's very
by
true.
Week 5, probably.
He's got so many RB2s and RB3s.
Just imagine if this team had someone like Jonathan Taylor.
We're not. I think next podcast. So,
man.
I've now made 2 shots on people getting kicked out. So let's see. let's look at Dave's team and see how that team's gonna.
Shit. Dave
Really
just
good
memes on
fan.
us, man. He comes in, he wins a ship, then he just tears it down and says, I'm AFK this season, and then comes back next year and then fucks with everything again.
Do you think
Like,
he's coming back
we're-
next year? I mean, let's all. I think we all think
Yeah.
Dave's getting out of this division, right? Dave's team is clearly tanking.
Yeah.
I think Dave needs to move pieces to commit to the bid.
Yeah.
He's
He
got
needs to
older
drop
players, and I don't think that like all of his running backs, like sell Blake Corum, sell Chuba, sell Jalen Warren, sell Ramondre Stevenson. Get the fuck rid of those guys.
Dude, Jacob's gonna trade Dave 100%. I can see it now.
I mean, that
He's
one
gonna
does make
grab-
sense.
He's gonna grab Chuba or Stevenson.
Yeah,
Chuba.
Chuba would make sense. Chuba, whatever. But I mean, he's still got like Pickens. I guess Pickens isn't old.
No, he's 24, isn't he?
Yeah,
25.
yeah. It was a 2022, I think is what it is.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously Dave isn't gonna compete this year. Do we think he can get back in this division within a year or two? I mean, how
For
many
sure.
for picks? You say for sure. All right, that's
Yeah, he has all of his own picks except next year. He doesn't have his 27, but he does have his 28 and his 29. I think if he, dude, that's probably why he's not. Who has? Here's the real question: who has Dave's first next year? Is it Frank?
probably he
Or
fucking knows.
Chris.
It's probably Frank. I just
No, it's not Frank. It's Chris.
you mean Zach?
Then it's
Zach.
Zach.
Or yeah, that is Zach.
Yeah, it's Zach. So, I mean, this team, Brock Purdy, Mendoza, is Penix.
You keep
to,
those guys.
Those are fine. I mean, the running backs sell him as much as he can. He has he has 8 quarterbacks. Christ, all right. Decent.
Eric and Tua.
He just
picks does he
grabbed
have in
those so he
27?
could start somebody.
He only has. He got rid of his first. Does he still have his second?
No, he doesn't.
No.
I don't think he's. I can't help but feel like 2028 is probably the earliest he's got a shot at really competing.
Yeah.
In 27, he's going to be on the vine as well, so he's going to have to draft well in 2028 to be competitive. We're going to see Dave in the shirts division for a hot minute.
Yeah.
He's not going to be a bottom feeder though. I don't think.
No, he'll still be competitive. Just his wide receivers and quarterbacks are good enough, right? Like it's like Justin. If he hits on a late round running back, like
I give him 3 wins.
that could.
I think this is a 3-win team in that division.
Yeah. I would,
for
yeah,
sure.
absolutely. I don't.
I don't.
Think
3
single,
might be generous too.
Well, he's still got to play the other one. You figure he's probably going to. I mean, he's probably got like maybe a 60-40 shot at beating like David and Kenter. So, I mean, 2-3 wins seems about right, which propels him. I mean, obviously we do we do points 4, but that propels him. Well, Zach's now picked pretty fucking early. He sits there for a couple of years. Maybe he can rebuild, and then we're looking at 2028, 2029. He can try and make a push unless he gets lucky, which I mean anyone can do. But
Yeah.
so he'll.
Yeah.
I mean, but to credit to him, he did it. He's the only person that's won 3 championships. And he came, he saw it conquered, and then he fucked right on out and said, "I got my win." So maybe by the time he's competing again, no one will have that 4th coveted championship, and he'll still be tied for the most.
Probably.
We'll see.
All right. Who we got next?
Yeah, we're running up on 1 hour 30, so let's finish up with Casey. Casey's team, we have is a little old, but respect. I mean, he's got Dak. and Stafford. I think that's a great. And Tyler Show, I'm not a fan of Show, but that's my own bias. He's a starter. I mean, KTC has him as the quarterback too. I think Stafford's the clear quarterback too in this team right now, as long as he's still playing. Stafford's hella undervalued. He's only worth like early second right now. Anyways, running backs. I mean, CMC, as long as he's healthy, he's doing fucking great. Saquon Barkley, same scenario. Kyron Montgomery, things get a little iffier, and then things get a little rough. At wide receiver, he's Higgins, JMO, and things get kind of rough. Omar Cooper is a wide receiver 3. I guess Terry McLaurin's really your wide receiver 3, not Omar Cooper. Which is, I mean, Terry's fine.
Pull up something that will actually look at this in a retrack.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably a better option because we're trying to figure out who's winning. Well, tight end's looking rough. The more I look at this division, I feel like it's just going to cannibalize itself. I really feel like it's going to be cannibalized. We're going to see a bunch of really shitty teams next year in the playoffs.
8 or 9 win teams in this division is what that's going to look like.
Because it's a good team, but once again, we're looking at, considering its competition, it's going to be rough, and a couple injuries is all it's going to take. And obviously, Casey's team might be the most prone to injuries because it's old.
They're old. Yeah. Yep. CMC coming off of a 400 touch season.
Yeah. I'm spooked. I'll be forthright. To be fair, I was spooked last year.
Same.
And I'm spooked again this year. I generally have a concept of pendulums. I think when players do really good, they're inevitably going to start going back to the medium. Not quite the, Pat Mahomes would be a meteor quarterback if you regress in the medium kind of thing. But I think if CMC gets 400 plus touches, generally speaking, the numbers aren't great on running backs the next year that have 400 plus touches. They usually have the wear and tear of last year that tears on them again next year, and they're not as successful. We saw with Saquon Barkley.
You can see that in CMC's history of the league. It's literally what shows up when you look at his fantasy history.
I feel like you're betting against the odds on CMC this year. And to be fair, you're probably betting with the odds on CMC last year, because usually CMC has a swing back, and we learned that last year. And historically, he has a couple good years, and then he has a really bad year. So,
I gave my hot take on CMC earlier. I think CMC is obviously a carry. He can carry your team. But my hot take on CMC is that he wasn't that good last year, and that he just touched the ball a billion times on a team that had nobody else to give the ball to, and that his actual efficiency was trash. That being said, they had offensive line problems. That's the main.
No receivers.
Thing with that team. Yeah. But
it feels kind of silly we're focusing on CMC, but realistically, that's a critical component to this team. And sure. I agree. I watching CMC last year as well. I watched it. I'm like, he looks okay. He catches the ball a lot. He gets a lot of touches. But then I go on Reddit and people are like, "Oh, CMC is great. He's amazing." And I'm like, I'm not watching the same game y'all are. But Saquon Barkley, I think we get the opposite of that a little bit with Saquon. I think Saquon maybe depends on
CMC and Barkley are on opposite years of their pendulum swing.
Right, which is why I think we're going to get a little bit of a mix. Yeah. And you're going to get a rough year from CMC, you're going to get a good year from Barkley, but at the end of the day, you're just going to get good numbers from both in the total.
I think 7-9 bullshit would be a good
7-9.
I don't think that's. Obviously you can't go 7-9. It's the regular season, anyways. But I don't know. I looking through these is sort of mild prep to figure out who might be dropping and who might be coming up. Casey is one of my candidates for dropping out of this division.
Yeah, I agree. And I think the only other team that we're not terribly stressed by, and there are obviously indicators, but is Justin's wide receiver liberation front. I don't like Geno as a quarterback 3, but he's fully committed to 1 and 2. Joe Burrow and Goff, as long as guys stay healthy. That's great. Is Scatterboo really his RB1? It is. According to
Value
KTC.
wise,
Yeah, I don't buy it, but I mean,
no.
Bucky.
It's probably Jacobs.
Josh Jacobs, yeah. Didn't he just like do some prisoner like raping, beating women shit or something?
He got arrested for domestic violence and the
There it
charges
is.
got dropped.
Oh, they got dropped?
So,
I didn't catch that part. Okay.
yeah, they did like a week later. I think he stayed in jail overnight and then he got released and charges dropped. But with how DV goes,
the league will do what it
is
wants
that
to.
really? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't think the league will go into it because the charges got dropped, but that doesn't mean that we're not going to see another incident between now and the end of the season. So,
yeah, Josh Jacobs is one.
But Josh Jacobs wasn't even playing good, right? Like, let's be real for a second. If we look at how the season ended and how he was playing, like he wasn't doing that great, and the Packers not having a run game contributed to them losing to the Bears as many times as they did at the end of the season. So it's
okay.
Yeah,
I mean, he's got
okay.
He's got players that can. It's not quite like he's got RB3s and 4s. Like I still feel like Jacob Dobbins has. You can put him in a couple weeks. You can put
Scatterboo
in.
Will do something.
I would say that Justin's team is on a bit of a cliff. The things need to either kind of go right or like you need to start pushing or pushing back. I think you either need to push to move forward to get some more. You know, we talked about how there's a few teams in the league that have older running backs that they might want to move off. Is this a team that tries to capitalize on just being old and gets some other running backs from teams that maybe don't want them?
And I'm curious
Justin will never be able to tank because of Burrow and Chase. Having those two guys is going to make it impossible for him to ever seriously tank, unless they both end up injured somehow.
I'm curious if Justin sees the change in what's happening and that he has to win more games now, because originally he went into this concept of you just care about the playoffs, you don't care about the regular season. But knowing what he's got with running backs, does he make the move early on to try and get one or two of these guys that are serviceable, instead of just waiting? Because I think if he waits, that's a dangerous game.
I mean, there's a decent chance that Chase, Puka, Lamb, AJ Brown, Devontae Adams, all 5 starting is enough to do something.
It's enough to win a lot of games.
How old is Adams? Like 34 now?
Yeah, he's still rostered. The Rams didn't trade him. So
he's Taco Bell, apparently.
Yeah. Adams can sit there and still get 10 touchdowns this season, and I don't think that's a stretch.
I mean, statistically it is. Statistically, with a season he had 600 yards and 12 touchdowns or something crazy like that.
It was
going off those numbers. It's gonna swing the other way. Will it actually do that? It's the Rams, right? Like they used Adams like he was basically a 1 yard red zone running back, right? They used him like he's like Jerome Bettis or some shit. Fucking deep fade Adams, and I was there for that Jags game in London, and literally the Jags fans, I was telling them
that's when he had 3, isn't it?
It is. I was telling the Jags fans that were there, the Brits, I'm like, it's a fade to Adams, back right, and sure enough, there it was.
He had 14 touchdowns last season, so he could regress, but Adams getting a touchdown every other week.
They tried to trade him too. I mean, it's something that doesn't. At least it's rumored a lot is that the Rams are trying to move Adams, trying to get AJ Brown.
I think he was going to be part of a package to the Eagles for AJ Brown.
Yeah. Which also, Justin owns AJ Brown too. Which that's. I mean, I am a big fan of Jacoby Myers. I think Jacoby Myers might be the best wide receiver on that Jags team for what I think could be a good Jags team too. Not to say BTG is bad, but if let's play the odds, right? Let's say BTJ isn't as good as we think he is, or he just doesn't have the connection. Who's the next guy up? It's Jacoby Myers. I think Myers is a legitimately good wide receiver. I think I believe in BTJ, but if I'm a betting man, I
Well,
love
and
Myers.
the other piece too is that Myers is going to get, if BTJ is back, Myers is going to get one-on-one every play. I
Yeah.
trust Myers to win one-on-one more than I
Absolutely.
trust Lawrence to throw to BTJ in double coverage ever. Like,
Yeah.
Travis Hunter, he's gonna be the wide receiver one.
I mean, he's good. He's good. There's a lot of mouths to feed, but he's dynamic. That's the word.
You're not thinking about is that Travis Hunter gets to go up against these guys on defense and he can injure them, and then he can be the new wide receiver one.
And he's still got Kelsey just chugging along, filling in for tight end when he needs him, which
And
is
he just was able to smash on Harold Fannin last year. Who knows what happened?
He did.
Yeah.
That's true. He does have Fannin.
He's gotten a surprise smash every single year on some pick that just
Third or fourth.
Yeah. It's gotta stop sometime.
Yeah.
How can he keep
Maybe
getting away with
Nussmeier
it?
is gonna be the new QB1 in Kansas.
I mean, if history shows.
Nussmeier's the chief. What?
Yeah, that's what I said. In Kansas City, yeah.
I was like, who has Nussmeier anyways? I like Nussmeier. Is he ever going to start a game on the Chiefs? Probably not.
He'll start
for week 1 or something.
Yeah.
No, he wouldn't even start then because we have Fields.
You have Fields.
That's true. Yeah.
But
So what are we looking at then? As we look at this, who do we think? Because we looked at looking at the shirts, but the better way probably was to look at is who in the blouses drops is most likely to drop.
David
Let's put
Casey.
a number. Let's put a
CMC
number
is
on
gonna
it,
die.
and then go from there. Okay.
Two
I mean,
guaranteed.
yeah, Derek.
I'm gonna
We'll
say
leave with you,
two
Derek.
Guaranteed.
Okay.
So Dave and Casey are the guaranteed ones, but there may be a surprise third. I don't want to jinx myself. My wide receiver room is garbage. But it could be not necessarily me, but like if I fell off because of wide receiver, I don't think we'd be surprised. If Justin fell off because of running backs, I wouldn't be surprised either.
the thing that would surprise me in each of those situations is that either of you guys would settle. That would be.
Oh yeah, I would make a move 100%.
Yeah, you're gonna move. I don't think so. If we're actually talking about how a season will play out, like at the end of the season, I think the odds are Casey and Dave. I don't think Dave's going to make any moves to stay in, and I think that Casey might try to, but he doesn't have the assets to do anything dramatic necessarily.
So then, who has? Well, I'll finish. We'll go around, but like that's a thought process as we think of this is like, who's got the assets to move to keep on chugging? You know, I think
Dustin knows I'm open to moving Bijan, and I think I could move Bijan for the right price. That would be a big deal regardless of what happened.
You picked up draft capital.
I would think back to a few years ago. A few years ago, Justin Jefferson was injured, and I moved JJ because I needed to compete then. It was a terrible decision in hindsight, and as would Derek trading Bijan or Gibbs if they were to be injured. But if either of those guys got injured and he wanted to stay alive for the next year, maybe he trades those guys out. It gives you your fantasy gift of giving you one of the guys in theory that'll be better for years to come. Who knows? I mean, there's a million things that could happen, but I think Derek would move and stay competing. I think that Justin would try to. I mean, he has assets. I mean, he has his own 2028 and 2029 picks. He has a few seconds, I think, next year.
Yeah.
I think
he has every one of his picks instead of his 27, except his 27 first. So he literally has all the rest of them.
I think he competes. I think Jacob would probably wheel deal, stay alive. I think he already did the whole rebuilding thing. He's not going to keep trying to do that. So from that perspective, I think there's 4 teams in the playoffs. So obviously, Dustin has the assets to continue to compete. He also has the depth. So it's a there's a million different things there. If you drop, I've said that 12 times. But if you dropped games, you probably have to consolidate or start being a better manager of your team or something. But
pick a better starting lineup, Dustin.
He'll just be a Commish and change just to best ball so he doesn't have. So yeah, I think Dustin stays competing. I think Derek stays competing. I think Justin has assets to stay competing, and I think Link is a wheel and dealer and upside. I think he wants to move and stay alive. I think there's 4 teams in Boston that will try to stay in Boston. Vice versa, yeah, sure. I don't know. I going back and looking at the OG draft, I'm starting to realize Frank's been tanking since the first day we started this. So I like if his team actually starts producing this year,
He's going to trade away good players.
Is he going to trade away good players? He's not going to trade away good young players, but is he going to trade away good 25-year-olds?
I was about to say he doesn't have any old players, and then
and then he said 25, and I was like, ooh, Drake London, bye. You're about to be gone. Oh, man.
So we can go back on that one. Frank did my rebuild was a bit built on Frank's back because he traded a lot of pieces to get Alvin Kamara to try and win because he had not won before, and met an early round exit, as I recall, and decided he was tired of this shit of losing. So then he decided to lose more. But yeah, I think it's easy for us to look at these teams now and be like, oh, because looking now, I honestly think there could be 3 to 4 teams that could fail. But you bring up a good point, Devin, that there are going to be teams that just try anything to tread water, stay alive, and still compete. I keep going back to Jacob, and I know he's trying to get a running back. I know it because he's asked me. But I know he's trying to get a running back. I have a few, but if he doesn't secure one, I think he's gone. I think it is Casey, Dave, and Jacob. If he does, I kind of agree. I don't think he will. I think he'll find a way to stay alive, but it is rough. And if he can't do it, then we're looking at 3. And I still feel like my gut tells me that there's 2 for sure losses, and then I feel like there's another one that's a casualty of just the injuries and bad luck, and yeah, which then leads me in. Who that is, I don't know. I'm not gonna. I think the most likely candidates. I think the most likely candidates are probably going to be literally not my team. Really, that's how I feel about it. I think not my team. There's my team that's probably going to stay, and then there's a chaotic one spot between the next 3, and then the bottom 2. Still, I think will go. Did my math there correct? I think I did. Yeah.
AKA last year. Same thing that happened last year.
Yeah, and who do I think then fills in for those slots? I know you don't think Frank. It's so frustrating because he really could. All he has to do is get a decent running back too, and I think he makes the playoffs. And then at that point, it's just fuck it. Let's try and win this thing because I'm already in the next division. Let's do it. But
that's why he's
gonna sabotage himself.
Dustin knows this, and Frank, I am 100% sure, is tired of me saying this. If Frank traded me for Bajan, he would 100% be an immediate contender. With Love and Bajan or Gibbs, but I would take over half of his 27 cap. That's what it would cost him. But if he did that, playing in the Shirts division with that roster with Bajan and Love as his running backs, fucking 12 wins, 1 seed immediately first week. I'm just saying, this is what I have foreseen for Frank's roster. I mean, when did I start saying this, Dustin? 2 years ago. I said, when you're ready to compete, I'll trade you Bijan for 27 picks. We'll do it, and you'll be very, very competitive. But he doesn't want to do it. He wants to draft his own guys.
Yeah, he wants to do it his way, which is great and all. Yeah. But yeah, I want to say he can find a way to get above these other teams because he is finally starting a running back. And I did the math last year, and if he was starting in league average running backs, he would have had a barely 500 season or some shit like that. And I know he would have been my team and a few others because I just had a bad week. So Devon for sure, absolutely makes it. That's not even a question. He probably, with the current rosters, probably takes this.
I gotta say it up to jail.
I'm just going with my gut here. I say Frank makes it, and then I don't fucking
Zach's
know.
close.
It's so hard for me
Only
to buy
because
into the
of
rest.
Josh Allen.
Yeah, it's so hard to buy me for any of the rest. I think that it's gonna be another random ass fucking someone just gets lucky with record. Like I think someone's gonna get unlucky with records in the blouses. Someone's gonna get lucky with record in shirts, and those will be a whole 3 teams, or which is not what I envisioned when this created. I honestly thought it'd only be like 1 team, but I think that's probably what we're looking at. But who knows?
To show kind of what would have happened in 2025, 3 of these teams from the playoffs in 2025 and 2024 fell out of the top 6 in the next year. So myself, Zach, Chris, all fell out of that. Zach and Chris obviously made a conscious decision to do so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is kind of we're looking at this
I
then.
mean,
It would be, I guess Casey wouldn't be a conscious decision, right? But Dave deciding he wants out.
and when do you make that conscious decision? Is that something you make right now, or is that something you make after 3 weeks?
I think week 5, right? You look at how many.
Yeah.
You look at your division. You see that I've already lost 4, and I've only gotten 1, and I've got to play all these dudes again, and my team's not getting any healthier probably.
That's my concern. That's what I think the conundrum is for me. Week 1 Casey, week 2 Justin, week 3 Jacob, like week 4 Dave. So I get Dave for my free win week 4 is the way I'm looking at it. But I really could go into week 5, end week 5 being 1-5, and then it's like, well, fuck. What do I do here? Do I trade Bijan? Do I try to convince someone that they want him and to give up some of their assets? Like, yeah.
Convince someone they want him.
I would be so fucking mad if I'm 1-4 going in the end of week 5. Like, and that would end on a loss to Dustin. I'd be extra mad. I wouldn't trade you, Dustin. I'll tell you that right now. You would have put the nail in the fucking coffin, and I'd be like, "Fuck you." I'd be like, "Who's Dustin playing? Fucking week 6. That's who's gonna get Bijan." Oh my god.
For the top teams, the decision about who's going to actually fall out is something that sorts itself out after the first 5 weeks. After those teams have finished cannibalizing themselves, you guys really, and wherever things stand after that, and then it's about where things start to shift. But I think 2 teams fall out and 2 teams climb up. I think I might be one of those teams, depending on how things shake. I think Zach could be. I don't know, Zach, and vice versa of the Blossom situation, where some people are going to fight to stay. I think Zach might be fighting not to, so maybe he does move players. Like I said, he's got a lot of running backs. If they're producing at a high tick, maybe they end up somewhere else. So I don't know. I think Frank's in a similar situation. We'll see.
I think one thing with Frank is he's going to try and lose. He's going to try and lose. He's going to pick the worst defense. He's going to pick a terrible kicker. He's going to try and lose. And that's it. Honestly, it does help a lot. It can be.
Some could say that the whole reason we started this podcast is to convince Frank to try to win a football. Okay. So if this is going to be a success, then he will win a game or 2, 3, or 9.
Really? Yeah, you might win them all.
Maybe.
All right. Well, we managed to still go way more than I intended to, but I think we'll call it quits here, and then I know what we're gonna hit on next week. I'm gonna be possibly in Germany next month, and so we'll see how all that plays out. But we're getting closer and closer to the camp going right now, with preseason coming up soon, and then we'll go from there. No, we got some league history we can go through, the original draft, and Devon also probably needs to talk about his defense changes and what we want to do with that as well, possibly next month. maybe we'll get a
It
guest
does
in here as
actually need
well.
to happen. If it's gonna be discussed at all, it needs to be discussed.
Yeah, I think we'll try and aim for that next podcast.
Oh, sounds
All right,
good.
it's been a pleasure. Hope you all enjoy, and we'll catch y'all next month.
Adios.
Have a good time.